Hello, class. How are you doing today? You're welcome to this class, and I'll say the second class of the foundational um, class or tutorial for cybersecurity lab or cybersecurity hands-on. And today we're going to be setting up our cybersecurity lab. All right, we're going to be setting up our cybersecurity lab. All right, and normally we do this because we need to set our lab up so as um not to go cross a line that we're not supposed to cross, because it might be costly. Okay, it might be costly. We might destroy things while trying to try our hands on things. All right, so and setting up our lab will actually need some tools. All right, we actually need some tools like number one, we'll need a virtual machine. All right, we need a virtual machine, and a virtual machine actually is a software. Um, I would say a software-based simulation of a physical computer. Okay, that runs on operating systems and applications. All right, it operates independently within a host system. Okay, what I mean is, we have our laptops, right? We have our PC, our computer, right? We'll now have another computer residing on in our within our computer. All right, so that when we install that system or that computer within our system, that other computer is what we call the guest OS, guest operating system. Okay, we can actually install a lot of things. We can go ahead and install malware. We can go ahead and install virus, install tools that we can actually use. All right, to practice. Else, when you do this, okay, if not on your system, when you do this on other systems, it might land you in jail. Actually, all right. So in some countries, when you are tracked and they know that you actually did I even say some countries? In a lot of countries, all right, when you are tracked and they know that you are actually trying to hack anything or anyone that is not maybe your system, is not yourself, all right, maybe it's not your brother that had given you permission to do that, not your friend that had given you permission to do that. Okay, depending on the location that you are in the world, all right, you'll be arrested and jailed. Okay, it has a jail term to there is a jail term attached to such an exercise. All right, we see that if you listen to news, we see that in US, okay, some parts of US, we see some drones, unidentified drones flying. Okay, most especially between 11 p.m. Like that into the next day. All right, in the dark flies. Okay, and some group of guys try to fly their own personal drone up, to supervise, to actually check what's actually happening. And we saw that some of those guys were actually arrested, or some of those guys were arrested for even doing that. Okay, they are now trying to check into somewhere that they are not permitted to. I feel that's what is actually happened there. Okay, and the same thing applies to this hacking of a thing. Okay, so virtual machine. Okay, virtual machine. Okay, if I type that, you see that what we have here. So a virtual machine is a compute resources that uses software instead of a physical computer to run programs and deploy apps. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. It has a purpose, which is what I've actually spoken about already. It provides an isolated environment to practice cybersecurity tasks and experiment without affecting the whole system. Like if you you install a malware and you want to do malware analysis, for example, the malware might actually affect your host system. That's your laptop, your physical laptop. Okay, and that's why we use things like this VMware, like virtual machine. Okay, VMware, all right, to run it. Okay, and there are some key features that VMware also have. In the process of running your exercise, all right, trying to do hands-on on whatever thing you're practicing. All right. You might break some part, or you might break your machine. All right, and you might want to go back to where you were before you broke it, okay, to continue. So VMware's actually a virtual machine actually have snapshots, what we call snapshots, okay, that will actually save the state of a virtual machine, so that whenever, in a case where you break your machine or you run into problem with your setup, your configuration, you can actually bring up the snapshots, okay. And we see that it's also portable. All right, it has this portability feature, meaning you can transfer virtual machines between systems easily. It supports um multiple guest OS types. Like, you can install Windows on the virtual machine, you can install Linux, you can install Mac OS, depending on what exercises you want to run. For example, if you want to hack a Linux, you have to install your Linux, for example, Red Hat, Ubuntu, SUSE, Fedora, and all that. Okay, if you want to hack like Mac OS, like Apple systems, okay, install Mac operating system as your guest, okay. So that's what we actually do. All right, so, and also the second thing that we're going to be talking about is a tool, the actual hacking tool that we're going to be using, which is Kali Linux, okay. Kali Linux, like that. All right, now Kali Linux is a Debian based Linux distribution designed for pen testing, like penetration testing, okay, and ethical hacking. All right, it provides pre-installed tools for ethical hacking, including network analysis, vulnerability scanning tools, and digital forensic tools. All right, digital forensic tools. Okay, and it has over 600 penetration testing tools, and there are frequent updates and robust community to support it, which make it a whole lot a nice tool to actually use to run whatever you're running. It also has multi-language support and ARM architecture compatibility. All right, excuse me. And also, there are a lot of tools that exist, okay, within Kali Linux. Okay, there are a lot of tools that exist within Kali Linux, and one of the that will be using, or that are usable actually, when you're doing you're running your ethical hacking. All right, okay, like Wireshark, okay, which I know we are going to maybe be introduced to today, okay, how to actually get into Wireshark, or to get to Wireshark. All right, Wireshark is actually a network protocol analyzer that is used to capture and inspect data packets, all right, in real time. For example, if you're browsing on your system, and you need to check, all right, for the packets, like the information going forth and back your system and the server you are browsing resources from, okay, you can use Wireshark to actually check those things out, those things that goes to and fro between your system, your PC, your laptop, and the server, okay, that you are asking for resources from. Okay, Wireshark can also be used for more dangerous things, okay, but for now, I'm not going to go into such now. All right, I'm not going to go into such now. So we actually use Wireshark, okay, for analyzing network traffic, like I've said, to detect vulnerabilities, to troubleshoot issues, or to learn network protocols. All right. So key features for Wireshark is real-time packet capture and offline analysis, comprehensive display, filter language, multi-platform support. Windows, it supports Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Okay, so we're going to be um I'm going to be going taking you into introduction to ethical hacking. All right, introduction to ethical hacking. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, let me do something now. Let me turn down some volumes on my gadgets here. All right, but while I'm doing that, I wanted to tell you that ethical hacking is actually trying to gain access to a system, to a mobile phone, to a network, right? In order for you to check for vulnerabilities, for how easy it is for you to actually penetrate into the network, all right? And then you will now have to report, okay, to the organization that gave you the what do we call it? The organization that permitted you to run the task, okay? And what one thing we need to know is when it's ethical, it means you are permitted to actually run that operation. All right. That's why it's called ethical hacking. All right. Because they are when if it's not ethical, it means you are not permitted to run anything of such. All right, and like I've mentioned before, it can land you in jail. Okay, it can give you you can serve a jail term for it. All right, so there's every need you're permitted to actually run that thing. Okay, we actually protect organizations from cyber attacks by proactively addressing weakness, which is the reason behind ethical hacking. All right, and like I say, an ethical hacker must be authorized to test. Okay, which is why they call them white hat hackers. Okay, black hat hackers actually are malicious hackers seeking to exploit vulnerabilities. Okay, without any permission, and gray hat hacker are actually between the white hats. They operate between the white hat and the black hat. Okay, because when you call them for legit something, they can actually run it for you. When you call them for scam things, they can actually run it for you also. All right. So importance of like I've said before, the importance of setting up the lab is so that you have controlled environment. Okay, you have a safe space to test your tools and techniques. All right. Also, you gain hands-on experience while with cybersecurity tools. Okay. Also, you minimize risk. Okay, to isolate tests to prevent harm to main systems or your main network. All right, so let's go into the step-by-step way of actually installing all the installables very quickly. All right, now to install a virtual machine, okay, that's a VMware. All right, all you need to do is we actually come here. You come here to whatsoever browser you're using, if it's Google Chrome, it's Firefox, and all that. All right, you come here and actually visit their you actually visit their official website, okay? And you can actually go ahead and type VMware. Okay, what most time you see workstation download for Windows 11, depending on your Windows and all that. Okay, I'll go ahead and click on that. All right, and it should take me to something like desktop hypervisor solution. Okay, you can actually download from hypervisor, okay, or VMware, sorry, Microsoft Hyper V or hypervisor, okay, or maybe any other official website. All right, so if I click on this, all right, I'll go with the first option here. All right, so if I click on that, you see that it will load, the page will load, and normally we'll be given the page the option of selecting which operating system we want to install our VMware on. Okay, now let's go down here and check. You see VMware Fusion Pro for Mac. All right, and what's this one? Let's go back up again. VMware Pro for PC, which is for Windows. Okay, so all you need to do is you go down here. All right, go here and click download now. All right, if you click download now, then it should take you to a page where the download can be initiated, or where the download process will actually initiate, and it will begin to download. All right, so since I have downloaded, I have it already. I've downloaded and installed already on on my system. I'm not going to be downloading it again, okay? So you should just maybe go around here and check whatsoever um thing they want you to actually go through with, okay? enter username and all that. So I'm not going to go through this process again. Okay, so all I need to do is to actually go ahead and okay, let's close this. All right, let's close this. To actually go ahead and continue with the class. Okay, so when you've downloaded it, okay, let me come here and check. Normally it will be in download. Okay, to be in download, let me go ahead and do this. Okay, it will be in download, so you see something like VMware workstation full version this. Okay, so when you see this, you go ahead and double click on it. You say this app can't run on your PC. All right, okay, let me check whether I will see another one. I don't even know which one I downloaded again. All right, but let's check VMware. Okay, let me do VMware. Okay, I think I've moved the one that I installed. But what you need to do is, after you've okay, let me go back to downloads rather, and let me do check for VMware workstation. Okay, full. If you double click here, if you double click it, it will come up like this, and you go ahead and do yes, run, then you continue with the installation that way. All right, so when it majorly is next installation, okay, next installation, like that. All right, so when you go ahead and you try to install everything, you see, if it comes up, you do next, and you finish, and it will finish installing. Okay, let's cancel it because I have it already on my system. Okay, so when you are done, depending on where you choose to be, where the location you choose for installation, if it's desktop, most times I love desktop so that I can actually access it fast and quick, like that way. And sometimes when after it's even here, I can right click on it and I'll say pin to start. All right, or pin to status bar and all that, which is this part. Okay, so since you have it here, okay, the next thing that you need to do is you have to go to that is when you're done installing the what do we call it, the VMware. You can now come back here and do Kali Linux. Okay, ISO download. Okay, most times ISO, I prefer running using ISO. Okay, then you come here to the Kali Linux official page. All right, Kali Linux official page. You see they say choose your platform, virtual machines. Okay, so this is, they say this is virtual machine. So you go ahead, look at other stuff like containers, cloud, where you actually want to install. Okay, depending on your work, so you go ahead and click on this. Okay, when you click on this, you see what type of virtual machines. Okay, if it's VMware or VirtualBox, they're actually other stuff. Okay, we have Hyper-V, VMware, we have this Chemo and all that. Okay, so but I prefer what do we call it, VMware, okay, than to VirtualBox. So you go ahead and click on VMware here, and the next page will be loaded, telling you where to actually install, the location you want to install. So most times you go ahead and click on download. Okay, when you go ahead and click on save, everything will be downloaded, okay, for you. So when it's downloaded, you go to where you downloaded the stuff, and you will see it like um in my case now that is download. Okay, if I come go down here, you see that okay, let me do like this and press K. All right, let me press K. You see Kali Linux 2 because I had one. Okay, and this is Kali Linux 2. Okay, if I open it up and I come down here, you see Kali Linux. This is the installation file here, but in your own case you should see Kali Linux something dot ISO and all that. Okay, you might see it like that. Okay, dot ISO. All right, and this very particular one is 2.81 gig. Okay, so that's what you need, okay, for to run the exercises. Okay, that you need to run as an ethical hacker. All right, so that's how to actually download the Kali Linux. Okay, so let's go down to this place and let me show quickly how you can actually install the Kali Linux on VMware. So I double click on VMware Workstation Pro here. It comes up, okay, and as you can see, you see Kali Linux, okay, because I'm going to we are doing all this. I don't want to get us confused, okay. That's why I have a fresh installation of this, okay, but I will show you how to actually install. Else you will see other like Windows 7, Windows Server here, all those things that I always run penetration tests or text on them. You see them listed here, okay. Let's go ahead and install another version of Kali Linux. All right, so I'll come here if you want to now start, okay. So let me close this. All right, let me close this. If you come, this is what you will see. All right, if you load your VMware workstation for the first time, this is kind of what you see. All right, so you come here and create click on create new virtual machine. Okay, I'm going to be kind of fast, okay, through this. All right, because I wouldn't want this. I don't always like my videos to be too long, okay. At this point, you go ahead and click sorry, it means I'm not going to go into explaining a lot of things, okay. So I'll just walk you through the procedure, the process. So I click on this, okay. Normally it's on that by default, so you click on this, you click on next. All right, at this point, this is where you choose the file, the Kali Linux that you want to choose. It was here. We are not using Dix or here. We are not using Dix, so I'll go ahead to install the ISO. I told you to download the ISO. Then you come here and click on browse. All right, so normally you go to downloads, okay, and you go down to Kali. Okay, in my own case I have Kali Linux too, so I'll go down to installation file and I'll either double click or click once and click open, or anyone works, and you have it here. So you go ahead and click next, okay. Now it's this is what you name it. It's a Linux machine, guest machine, so you click on Linux. Okay, here it's Ubuntu. I would like to leave it at Ubuntu, or you can go to Fabian, okay, because it's actually built on that. All right, so if you see Fabian, Debian, all right, you can actually do Debian there, okay, or anyone that you want, okay, but I majorly actually love Ubuntu to I like leaving it on Ubuntu, so I'll click on next. So what do we want to name it for us? So let's go ahead and say Kali. All right, Kali. Then I go ahead and do next again. What is it saying? The part this already exists. Okay, please enter another part and try. Okay, all right. Okay, there is Kali there. Okay, let's go ahead and do um Kali machine. Okay, Kali machine. So let's do next. All right, at this point choose in order not for whatsoever you are running to eat up spaces, disk spaces, go ahead and choose disk single file, okay, virtual disk as a single file, choose that one. All right, you can actually adjust the size here, but there's a recommended size is 20, so let's leave it at 20. So we'll now go ahead and click and don't do finish. It's actually a next finish installation, okay. Down that we have it here, all we need to do, go ahead and click on power machine, okay. Go ahead and click OK. So now the Kali Linux is actually being powered up. All right, so and while that one is being powered up, okay, in your case you might see that it's small like this, okay. You can go ahead and click on this to make it bigger. All right, you can go ahead and click on this to make it a full screen something, okay. And when you are hooked inside of it, go ahead and press your control key and alt key together. You will now see your mouse, okay. But for now, let's say we have this, okay, you can actually scroll through which one do you want to actually do. Is it to install right away, or you can go live? One good thing with this thing, you can run live without installing this thing on your system. Right, when you click on enter, it will go ahead and run the live, okay, meaning it will boot the complete Kali Linux system for you without you actually installing it on your system. All right, so we're actually waiting for the Kali Linux, okay, to complete. All right, yeah, it's coming up, it's loading up. It's loading up. So it depends, depending on the speed of your system. All right. The boot up process follows suit. Okay, follows the uses the speed of your system to actually either install or to boot up. All right. So it's going to load up now. And if I must say, as an ethical hacker, you must be used to this black screen, all right? Because you will always be on the system, right? That as an ethical hacker or as a software engineer, all right? You need to be used. You have to be used to this black screen because it cools your eyes. Okay, your eyes. It actually calms your eyes down. All right. All right. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. It's coming up now. It's coming up right now. And I see, since you're loading this one for the first time, that's why it's taking this time, okay, to load, to boot up, else it's faster than this. Yeah. All right. So when this is done, yeah, now like it's done now like this, okay. So this is our environment, okay, our Kali Linux environment. You can actually leave it like this, and you can actually exit, okay, from the full screen and leave it like this, okay. Anyone that you want, okay, you can actually do, okay. But in my case, most times I love a full screen version like this. Sometimes I still leave it for, to the other setting. So if you come here actually and click on this, like the start button on Windows, okay, you click on that, all right, and you can actually see all these tools, okay, preloaded tools for us. Like I've mentioned before, we have information gathering tool, vulnerability analysis, web application analysis, database assessment, password attacks, wireless attacks, reverse engineering. All these tools are all down to forensic and reporting tools, social engineering tools, and all that, okay. They are all there for us, okay, to use. All right, we can actually, if you know, if you're a software engineer or programmer, you can actually code your own tools out, okay, using languages like Python. All right, you can actually code your own tools that you want to use out. All right, now one good thing with Kali, like I've said, we have some preloaded tools for us. And if we come here, like I mentioned before, and want to use Wireshark, we can actually come through this way and do Wireshark, okay. Type Wireshark, we see that it's out, and we press enter. So Wireshark will actually be loaded automatically for us. All right, Wireshark will actually be loaded automatically for us. All right, yeah, it's loaded. This is Wireshark, okay. It's actually loaded automatically for us, okay. So uh but we're not going to go into you doing anything here today. All right, we'll leave this for next class. All right, so this is Wireshark for us, okay. We can actually capture a lot of things that we can. All right, like we see Bluetooth monitor and other stuffs here. All right, we can actually listen into a lot of a lot of packets, actually a lot of packets, okay. And let's close down this, okay. If we had installed this, okay, we'll come here. After every installation, you come and click on that terminal, okay. When you click on the terminal, you run commands like sudo apt-get, all right, sorry, sudo apt, we'll do updates, all right, sudo apt update. All right, and we'll go ahead and do this because we want to run two commands together. We do ampersand ampersand. It means we want to run two commands together. Sudo apt upgrade. All right, and when we do -y, it means there are some points where the system will ask us to put yes or no. It means when you get to that side, it must be yes. Just give it a yes and let's go. All right, what this is actually doing, it will update your installed Kali version, okay, to the latest version that we will need for a suite running or exercise. All right, so this is when you are done installing, this is actually what you type, okay. And when you type that one, you press enter and just watch whatsoever thing that will happen. All right, You can actually close from the top, from that X at the top, or you type X. And if you want to shut down, you go ahead and click on this button here, and you click on shut down, right? All right, like we have in our system. Now, like I said, if you want to actually install it permanently on your VMware, for which I advise you to do so, when you click on that, okay, on start machine, all right, and it loads this way, it will come to where you make that selection, where you can scroll up and scroll down this point, okay, where to make this sound. So you use your arrow down and arrow up key, all right, arrow up key, all right, to actually move. So you move it down to either graphical install or install, anyone will go. So when you do graphical install, you bring it on it and you press enter, or you go to install, you press enter. Okay, maybe we'll go through this in our next class, all right. But let me press my control alt key, all right, so that I can access my mouse. Let me come down here and do this, okay. Let me actually, if you want to interrupt the booting process, okay, you can actually come here and click on that and do shutdown, yes, so that it will shut down very well, so it won't have issues the next time you're going to start the VMware, all right, and your Kali Linux, okay, your guest OS. Okay, now like I said, in our next class we'll actually be checking, maybe looking more into Wireshark. All right, we'll look more into Wireshark. All right, like today we just launched the Wireshark. Okay, how we can actually maybe capture traffic, network traffic, and maybe do just basic things, okay, as we continue with the class. Like I promised us, every class is going to have a practical, a hands-on attached to it, okay. So today we actually have come to the end of the class, okay, and uh, we actually introduced ourselves to ethical hacking and actually how to set up our lab in this class. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye for now.